हेलो नमस्कार। वेलकम बैक टू द वर्ल्ड्स मोस्ट लो ऑफ इट्स पॉडकास्ट, जहाँ पे हम कुछ भी से लेकर सब कुछ तक कुछ भी करते हैं। वेलकम टू अ प्लेस फॉर एनीथिंग एंड एवरीथिंग। वेलकम वेयर क्रिएटिविटी मीट्स पैशन। वेलकम वेयर imagination becomes a discussion. Well, today is a very special day. Well, to be honest, every day is special, but to be alive under the sun and the moon. But today is a little bit more special because today we, in the history of our channel, Kuch Bhi, have marks the appearance of the first guest, Raghav.
He's not the guest, by the way.
So, I am not the guest. Jaya is. I'll give a quick introduction about Jaya. So, Jaya and I are from the same college. We are from the same college, and Jaya has worked for Notion Press for around 2.5 years, and then she worked as an AD for a South Indian film based from Tamil industry, and Fafa was in that movie. So, yeah, that movie's name is Maman, and she was AD in that film. And Jaya, is there anything which we can add to your introduction?
Uh, yeah, so I am also from a background of film journalism and film criticism. I was one of the finalists in the Mumbai Film Festival's Young Critics Lab in 2019, and I got a chance to cover the India Gold section of Mami at that
Bro,
particular year. And I was also an intern in the production of a feature film named Karnan, which is again a Tamil film starring Dhanush. And post
casually, even Karnan, casually. Okay, go
कुछ
yeah.
on.
भी कुछ भी
Casual bomb drop.
Okay.
हाँ continue Jaya.
And then I was, in the middle of my college. And after my college ended is when Mamanan started production. So I was a part of that film, which had Fahad Fasil as an antagonist, and also it had Udaynidhi Stalin, who is now the deputy CM of Tamil Nadu, and it had Vadivelu, one of the comic actors in Tamil cinema, as one of the main characters. So yeah, it's two feature films right now.
It's an honor to have you on our podcast.
Thank you. It's an honor to be
Welcome.
here.
Welcome.
Well, thank you.
So
Thank you.
Rohan, did I overhype?
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Mira, first tell me, like,
Yeah.
what was the level of blackmailing involved to get you here?
Not a lot of blackmailing. I love films, so I
Okay.
was really glad to find a fellow cinephile in an MBA college, obviously. So
Who
it
was it?
was fun, which is Pragya.
Oh, okay. Sorry, sorry. Go on, go on.
So I love chatting about films and talking about films because with this MBA journey, I must admit that I've been a little disconnected from the world of films. So it was nice to have someone to talk about films to, who enjoy the same passion, etc. So that was really nice. So I love interacting with you guys.
Okay. I think we should like start with a little light topic only. What are you watching right now? Like, are you following any shows, books, or what was the last movie you watched? We'll just start with there.
Okay. Sure. I think the last movie I watched was pretty long ago, which was a Malayalam movie called Alapula Gymkhana. This is
Okay.
a very fun film about a bunch of boys trying to get into a district level boxing championship. For the heck of it, it's a very feel good coming of age of sorts. I really liked it. And presently, I'm watching this show called Parks and Recreation. So
Let's
I've been
go.
wanting to get to it for a while now, and now I'm in season 4. I'm just binging it through, and it's keeping me going in the dire moments of college. So it's
Remind me
kind of
where
a,
exactly is
yeah.
in season 4? Is
Um,
Leslie running for the presidency or
she
something?
is, she is. I actually started season 5 this morning, so she's, you know, in the council of sorts. So,
Okay.
and that's fun. That show is really fun. And
Ooh,
I've,
that is fun. Yeah.
yeah, I'm also reading this book called Asura, which is by
Oh,
Anand Neelakantan.
nice.
Yeah. So it's
Long.
like, go on.
It's a very long, like, entire journey of Ravan and Bhairav. Uh, the other character,
Bhadra.
Bhadra. Right, sorry, Bhadra.
Yeah, so it's a very nice book about I mean, it's just a retelling of Ramayana from Ravanan's perspective as the protagonist. So it's really, really fun. And yeah, so I'm just reading those. I would love to watch films like F1, Superman, but I haven't gotten the chance to yet. It's just college to blame, I guess.
I have watched both the movies, so don't blame the college.
Okay.
You watched Alapura Gymkhana, right? Did
Yes.
you watch that Tallumala, Tabino Thomas's movie?
Yeah, I love Talumala. It's an amazing movie with amazing set pieces. I like the editing,
Same
how it
director,
flows.
same
Same
director.
director. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
isn't
there was a
Thalumala that movie about fights?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
A
that
bunch of
was
short-tempered men.
right. Everyone.
What did you speak for yourself? Okay. What do you think about the similarities between that two movies, Tallumala and Alapura Gymkhana?
I felt Alapula Gymkhana was a lot more grounded and mature. So though there are similarities that it follows a bunch of boys and their friendship together, I felt that Alapula Gymkhana had a lot of space for, it was more a teenage drama. So it's just like a bunch of guys trying to figure out what their purpose in life is to
Yeah.
be. And they kind of discover this thing. And I think that Alapula Gymkhana also did not try too much to be that we have seen Indian sports drama and sports drama around the world where they follow a specific trope that the hero wins or loses and it's just like glorious training footages, etc. But I think the two films in Indian cinema which kind of played with that trope was one, Anurag Kashyap's Mukkabaz, and two, it was Khalid Rahman's Alapula Gymkhana, of course, which made sure that sports is not just a channel for personal glory, but it could also be a chance for personal discovery of sorts, right? So the entire climactic point of the film is someone discovering what they're meant to do in sports, which is not to play and win, but to become something else, which is like a sports manager of sorts. So I
Yeah.
really like that quirky and playing with that sports trope for a coming of age kind of genre. And in Mukkabaz, it was more about romance and, trying to equate what is more important in life for that specific sportsman. So that was also fun.
One is also like it also relates to that
Mhm.
idea.
Yeah,
Which one?
You've not watched
exactly.
it, but F1 want to
Oh,
find.
yeah, I haven't watched it. I want to watch it, yes.
Don't worry, we'll give you the spoilers. You won't.
Are you
Okay.
into F1 by any chance? The
Wait.
sport?
Um,
We have skipped so many questions which should be asked.
Huh.
Like we
After
usually
knowing
do.
that you are an
Okay.
assistant director, I was
yeah.
excited, and for our audience also, and especially for me because I don't know what
Mhm.
behind the camera team work cinema. So I want to know what is actually the work of an assistant director.
Right. So an assistant director does everything and almost like, from the pre-production, which is they start with the script reading. So some of the directors do involve the assistant directors in the writing part, but in the team that I worked with, it was exclusively the director's job, who was also the screenwriter in that specific film. So he took care of the whole writing part. So our work began with reading the script, scene by scene, and our first role was to give constructive feedback on how the script was built to see if there are any continuity issues, etc. Um, so that was the first part. And next, we deduce the kind of requirements after we read the script and give this feedback. The requirements in terms of artists who will be required in that scene. For instance, some scenes will revolve around the protagonist and the antagonist. So there'll be two characters. But what about the side characters, the secondary characters, right? So it depends on the setting. If it's happening in a political gathering, then we will need 100 people, 200 people. And then we deduce those artist requirements. And then we look at aspects like what kind of production design will be needed for that specific environment. So we took the example of a political gathering. So we'll need banners, we need chairs, we need a stage setup, with the characters, photos, of course, and the party colors. Well, the film I worked with was a political film. So we had a lot of party flags, party colors, which the characters had to be wearing to depict the sites that they come from. And besides the characters, the production design, we also look at costumes, right? So, what kind of costumes the characters are wearing, and also deducing if they need to have any continuity from a previous scene, etc. And also, we look at the dialogues, if there is any translation required, if there is any sharpening required, etc. So all those things come into the play. So it's mostly aspects of production design where we need to coordinate with the art department, costumes where we need to coordinate with the costumes department, and again artists bringing them together and also putting them together in this scene. Yeah,
Nice.
So you're like a bridge between different departments, sort of like a
that's
communication.
well put. Yeah.
Okay. For example, let's say you're shooting a scene, and obviously yours like DOP and the whole coloring team. Is there a coloring team, like a colorist, in a
Uh,
post production, right?
Art
It is in the
director.
post
Oh,
production. Yeah, it is in the post production, but the DOP watches the colors that are being brought into a frame, either by the art department or by the costume department. So we always get his approval before taking any production designs to the set because it has to match with the color theme that he is working
Yeah.
with. And also the costumes will get his approval so that there are no redundant colors, multiple characters are not wearing the redundant colors, but are complementing each other well in the frame. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an interview with Ryan Johnson, who directed
Mhm.
Knives Out. He was explaining
Yes.
how their costumes sort of like contradict their whole character
Mhm.
in a way.
Yeah.
Do you think in India, like people do that as well, or just for the glamour in general?
I think unfortunately there is not a lot of styling decisions like character-based decisions that go into costumes. Um, Regardless of what their characters are, like some characters can prefer a certain kind of costumes and can tell you about that person. So if they're wearing something crisp and they always keep themselves impeccable, it could talk about their OCD with their appearance, etc. But unfortunately, that's not on a large scale in India. Here, costumes are just to show that person's where they come from, what kind of socioeconomic status they belong to, etc. So those are the kind of like, we need to delve deeper in terms of the costumes. But interestingly, in the film that I worked in, the female character is actually a person who leans towards communism and aspects like that. And since we needed to put that across explicitly to the audience, because we are catering to Tamil audience and the pan-Indian audience. This is not a Malayalam audience who are familiar with the communism roots and who are familiar with the communism culture. So we had to go with some explicit clothing which were like printed t-shirts with some slogans, with some, pictures, etc., that will kind of show the character's ideology. So we tried to scratch that surface there in terms of the costumes. So that is about it. Yeah.
There's also a dialogue in the movie. The mother,
Hmm.
the character of Athiviran's mother says, "Ki,
Yeah.
you dress like a man, yet you are shy."
Yes, 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 yes. So it kind of again talks about like, we still have that inherent reservations in us to break certain walls, to open up, etc., despite following such strong ideologies, be it like communism or feminism, etc. So that's very well pointed out. Yeah.
Nice. While we were discussing about this podcast, we actually wanted to like not lean a lot on Mamanan because a lot of our
Mhm.
audience have not seen Mamanan. It did not penetrate
Yes.
well in the northern
Not
market.
Indian.
I think one of the
True.
reasons because I don't think Tamil movies have a very good distribution chain in up north. Hana, is right?
I figure so. Yeah.
You
Yes,
grew up, yeah.
The
retro.
main problem is about dub. Most of the movies are not
Mhm.
available in the Hindi dub. So
You know
Also,
actually
they're
what?
not releasing. They're not releasing.
Huh.
because they are not dubbing, na. Why would they release in Tamil in Patna's theater? Obviously.
Uh, Even in dubbing, was the problem with dubbing in general. Like one of my friend who saw Leo in Hindi, she hated
Mhm.
Leo. I was like, I really enjoyed Leo. Why did he hate? And then I saw it in Hindi, and apparently one of a comedian, he's like a popular comedian who dubbed him. Are
Oh,
you
Yes,
yeah.
familiar with Kapil Sharma show?
Krishna.
Yes, yes, I
Krishna
know.
Abhishek.
Krishna.
Krishna
Krishna
Abhishek.
Abhishek dub. You're bringing a
Oh,
comedian to dub
To dub.
for Vijay
a
sir. Like,
hero.
what is wrong with you? Obviously, like that did
Yeah,
not fit.
there
And
could.
these people are dubbing songs. Why are you dubbing songs? Please don't
Damn.
dub
Ah,
songs.
yeah.
It's the biggest complaint.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, though there are subtitles and we talk about subtitles breaking barriers, it does not reach a lot of the crowd because, I think there should be subtitles in regional languages as well. But how feasible it would be and how immediate the effect will be is something that is still to be explored. Yeah.
I mean, you would know this better, but a lot of Bangalore people don't know how to read Kannadiga. Like, yeah.
That's that's there.
I
That's
mean,
there.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why subtitling in regional languages is also a challenge. Yeah,
But
Uh,
this problem will always remain because we have so many languages.
that is true. That is there. Yeah.
I mean, like, Sahil Bloom had a very good explanation for this. There are a lot of
Hmm.
countries which are like dubbing countries who accept dub a lot, and there are countries who
Hmm.
accept like subtitles a lot. Like in
True.
Korea, people don't dub their movies in Korean. Korean people are very
Hmm.
comfortable with subtitling. Even Chinese, for
Right.
example. I think India
Hmm.
is not a very subtitle friendly country yet. Yet
True.
that is. Let's see. But you know what? I actually experienced this when I moved to Chennai. Like in my first year of college, Hiridayam was releasing, and
Okay. Hmm.
it was a Hotstar only release, if I'm not wrong. And it
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
not dubbed in Tamil or Hindi or anything. And people were okay with like watching it in Malayalam with English subtitles. That was the first movie I saw. Ki okay, my entire like hostel is watching that. I mean, this is a guys' hostel who are watching Hiridayam, for example. That too
Yeah.
in Malayalam with subtitle. I was like, okay, so definitely it's penetrating. And one of the reasons why which I thought ki Hiridayam was penetrating. Am I pronouncing
Hmm.
it correctly, by the way?
Yeah.
Hiridayam or
Hridayam. Yeah.
Hiridayam?
Hridayam.
Okay.
That's right.
I think the biggest marketing which it had was songs. We are actually
Exactly.
witnessing that in Hindi also right now. Like two of
Hmm.
the like releases in Hindi, which was Metro Indano and recently yesterday a movie released
Sayyara.
called Sayara. It
Yeah.
is filling up theaters. Crazy,
Hmm.
crazy filling up theaters. And the only
20 crore.
marketing they had is music. Their
Yes.
music
Hmm.
was solid. And yeah, because of that, it's happening. What do you think? How important does this music play in our screenplay or in the movie in general? Because a lot of purists, they think it's like messing up my screenplay.
I think it depends on the films and the kind of stories that they're leaning towards. So, if there are films that still use music as a ploy to kind of like a narrative ploy, though it does not advance the narrative in any way. But again, there are films which use music in a much more natural way, like montages, etc. But I think an example of a film that really used music well to penetrate markets of other industries was Manjumal Boys, which released
Okay.
last year.
Yeah.
So Manjumal Boys was a Malayalam movie which used a very old Tamil song composed by Ilayaraja in a very pivotal moment of the film. So that film played without subtitles in tier 2, tier 3 cities in Tamil Nadu and won a huge audience base. That was because of the affinity the people have towards that particular song, right? So when songs and films are in films are used in such in strong moments, in such important narrative moments, they can really elevate a film and open them up to markets that they wouldn't have thought about originally. Because this was a story that happened in Kerala, that happened to people who belong to Kerala, and people in Tamil Nadu, though it happened in Kodaikanal, they were not aware of it and who these men were and why they kind of struggled so much. But it still resonated because of that music. So I think again, cross linguistic songs and not to just bring back old songs but songs that connect across cultures will um, play a huge role in pushing films across different markets as well. And as long as songs are used in such strong narrative moments, they will have a much larger impact than songs released for the sake of increasing the album's hits or just to popularize a film, right? So I think in that case, screenwriters and directors have a lot of work to do, collaborating with music directors to come up with such moments and to push the music across borders. Yeah.
Uh,
This
so,
is
go on,
this
go on.
is very well done uh, very well done by movies of Mukesh Kanagaraj
Yes. Yes.
in the fighting sequences usually.
Hmm.
Also in Vikram, he used that old Hindi song, I think Jimmy Jimmy, or maybe from
Yeah.
that
Yeah. I think so. I
Rockstar
think so.
something. No, not Rockstar. From that movie, basically used Hindi
Hmm.
song.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, yeah.
Lokesh has
That,
said in an interview that he hated the Naredi, which he had to put because of Sun TV in Leo.
right. So hero elevation songs. Yes. That is like a
No,
trope which.
no, he said ki when you are like introducing a hero, you need a dance number. Like you have to have a dance number apparently. which I did not like, by the way. But now he's very comfortable with Monica,
Yes,
the
that is
song.
surprising.
Okay.
And yeah, I am not very keen on this whole, item numbers coming back in Tamil cinema or South Indian cinema at least, because I think though it was prevalent, predominant, it was done away with for a while, at least in Malayalam cinema, Tamil cinema, and Kannada cinema. But after the humongous success of U Antava from Pushpa, I think it kind of resurfaced throughout, and people had no qualms doing an item number again. And it kind of became a trope for every film to have one as a marketing ploy, for it to trend in YouTube, trend in Instagram Shorts, etc., rather than to complement the narrative. So
So
there were
it became,
films,
I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you, it became like a
yeah,
mass movie checkpoint, like checkbox. Ki, okay, you're
exactly,
making a
Sampai
mass
one
movie.
item
exactly.
song, yes.
Huh. Yeah.
It's very sad. It's very regressive. I think in that way we have stepped back, retraced our way back to the past. We can still make amazing music numbers without the need for such songs. Happy songs, groovy songs, yes, but something that falls into the narrative of the film without, coming into this very objectifying angle. Yeah.
Non-mass movies like ये Ulchuk Ma were having items. Why?
What? Which one?
There is a movie called Bhool Chuk Maaf. Even that had like an item song out of nowhere,
Okay.
actually. Out of nowhere.
Right.
I was
Uh,
very uncomfortable in
in my
Pushpa 2.
opinion, all these
Uh,
things are because
Mm-hmm.
audience is giving it the validation. People are
Mm-hmm.
going to watch it. People are making it famous. That's why director and all they are there to make money, and people are giving the validation. Yeah. So don't you think what are your thoughts on this and
Outright.
how it could be changed?
I think people are giving validation mostly because of the first thing, music, yes, and mass audience. You cannot, it's what you sell to them that they buy, right? So now that you have proved that, okay, they're buying this, probably like item numbers, etc., you cannot keep reselling to them. You have a responsibility as a director or a creative person to sell, to not just give or the audience what sells, but to just give the audience something different, right? So the directors who keep banking on these kind of ploys, be it item numbers, etc., I think are just playing it very safe and are not doing much to advance the art as such. Again, if they are in it for business, it again depends on what they are in it for, right? But the saddest part is because of this being a selling point, etc., it is the pressure that is placed on creative people to fill this as one of the check boxes, especially when people are working for larger production houses, which are investing huge amounts of money, etc., to kind of put the film together. So they have no choice but to make these. So even the artists and directors who don't enjoy making it succumb to that pressure. uh, Again, it's not just because the director selling it because audience buying it, but the production house is imposing it on the directors and the creative people because they have a proven trend, a social proof that audiences prefer
Will
this
watch.
kind of
tried and tested.
yeah, will watch it. Yeah, exactly.
Martin Scorsese said that this is not a this should not be seen as a this industry of cinema should not be seen as a demand and supply industry. If you
Exactly.
only keep giving audience what they want, they'll only want what you give. So your job is to give
Exactly.
differently, not similarly,
True. That's
so
very
that
well
the
put.
audience craves difference, not similarities.
Okay,
Exactly.
let's
I think
go in a
otherwise, yeah.
different direction. Okay, what kind of movies do you enjoy?
Okay. With regards to the movies I enjoy, I love
Genre. Let's go with.
relationship
Okay,
genre.
rom-coms. You like rom-coms?
I love relationship dramas, yes, but not. I prefer ones that are more realistic and grounded. I loved the Before trilogy, which was a very
Okay.
conversational drama. That was the first time I saw someone make conversations that exciting and interesting. So I love Richard Linklater's films, be it the Before trilogy, be it Boyhood, be it Dazed and Confused, be it his first film Slacker, which just follows a bunch of people around a town and it jumps from one person to the next. Be it like one character walks down the street and there's another character passing by, the story shifts from this person to the other person. So it does not have that continuity, but it has a lot of narrative liberty. And I love coming of age dramas as well, be it Ladybird, films like that. I really enjoy it. And I also have a little penchant for impossibly doomed romances like
Blue
Blue
Valentine.
Valentine. Yes, Marriage
What is wrong with
Story.
you people? What is wrong with you people? Like you
I don't
know
know.
you're gonna cry buckets at the end of this movie. Why are you watching that?
Yes. But yeah, it just is so beautiful. Be it Lost in Translation, Her, and In the Mood for Love. And there is this amazing film by Martin Scorsese, which was an very doomed romance. It's set in the periodic time. It's in 18th century or 19th century America, I guess. It's called The Age of Innocence,
Oh
starring
my
Daniel
god.
Day-Lewis.
Oh
It
my
Yes.
was
god.
adapted from a book, and it's beautiful. So I like that. And I also like Scorsese's Mean Streets. It's one of
Yeah.
his second films, I guess.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the first films to have a larger debut and a wider public reception. And I also feel that that is a coming of age drama again. It was a coming of age drama, but of a gangster who
Gangster.
is trying to come to terms with, what his morals are, what his purpose is, etc. So I love that film as well. So I enjoy films like these. Yeah.
Yeah. Mean Street, I thought it was like an Ikigai for gangster. It's like that.
True.
Ikigai
Yeah,
for
it's
bad
him.
people. Yeah. He wants
Yes,
to do something.
Ikigai for bad people. Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
so
yeah.
beautiful, so spiritual. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, like when Goodfellas was announced, people thought, okay, okay, just another mean street, some other gangster who
Mhm.
wants to like try to understand what he wants to do in life. But then when you start Goodfellas, the very first frame is like, as soon as I was young, I know I wanted to be a gangster. So that trope is completed. That this guy wants to be a gangster. This guy knows to be a gangster. So I actually wanted to
Yeah.
know what are your thoughts on second feature. I know like people have like a director or a writer or you as well. You might have a knowledge on okay, I want to make this. This was what my
Mhm.
debut project would look like. For example, a debut project performs in a certain way. What do you think a second feature should be like? A second sequel, in your
So
opinion?
yeah, sure.
Huh.
A debut feature is comes from, I feel that from the films that I've watched and from the directors whose filmographies I've followed, a debut feature comes from a much more pristine place, like a very pure place of art, and it's much more personal than the other films that the director gets to make. But with the second feature, there is a larger scope for the director to dream big, to become bold, etc., and to experiment with less explored ideas and to be more daring. Because now that they've proven themselves with the first future, that what they can do with the world that they are building and the characters that they're bringing to the screen, they have a lot more to explore. So, again, the personal flavor that they've established with it, though it gets like, a much larger stage, there is also a need to cater to a wider audience because now that they build the base and now that they have production houses coming in and investing in them, they also have that little pressure to play it to the crowd. This is especially true of Indian cinema than in Hollywood cinema. And though in Hollywood cinema, this pressure is still prevalent and might not be as pronounced in our following of it because now we are much more closer to home and we kind of see what kind of films that these directors make. Even in Hollywood, I feel that it gives a much larger canvas for the directors to get out there and put out daring works. Yeah.
Okay. What else? We were talking about coming of age movies, na?
Yes.
Tell me more. Tell me, give me something which is like no one has ever heard of. Like us. This.
Okay. I think people have heard of this film called 400 Blows, which
Yes.
was one of the French New Wave films. It's an amazing coming of age drama, and I really love it. It follows a little boy who grows up in a dysfunctional household, and he kind of comes to terms with what is right, what is wrong, and explores life for himself. And it is one of the most poignant endings in a film ever. The film just ends in a freeze frame of him, and it's an image that just stays with you. And this was a film made by this director named Francois Truffaut, and it was very loosely based on his childhood as well. So it is a very interesting coming of age movie to definitely check out. So it's less than 2 hours, I guess. And it was one of the most early films to come in the French New Wave movement, along with Godard's Breathless and other films. And it really launched him as great directorial voice, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
And yeah, Truffaut also came from a background of film journalism and film criticism, and then he ventured into filmmaking.
I mean, like
400 Blows is one.
one of my most interesting reads till now was Hitchcock by Truffaut. That's like crazy book.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, hmm
It's just like for the people watching, that's just Alfred Hitchcock and Truffaut having an interview for like 4 or 5 days, if I'm not wrong. Yeah,
yeah,
and the whole thing is like transcribed in a book, sort of. Yeah.
yeah, it's an
And
amazing book.
They basically like pick movies by movies and then start discussing. They
Dissecting.
discuss North by Northwest, Psycho, like one by
hmm
one. Yeah,
What was the
strictly
name of the book again?
Hitchcock by Truffaut. I'll share you the
great.
link. I'll share you an EPUB later. Yeah.
Yeah, and another coming of age film that was really striking was again Boyhood by Richard Linklater, which follows the boy through 12 years of his life, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it kind of ends in a very interesting moment where we have all heard this term called seize the day or seize the moment, right?
Mm,
Carpe diem. And
mm,
then it just
yeah.
talks about how you don't have to seize the moment. You just have to let the moment seize you or something like that. And the film was filmed over 12 years. So Linklater
Oh,
waited for the boy to grow up, and it captured him in multiple stages of his life, etc. So though some people view that as a gimmick of sorts, I really felt that it was very natural and a very nice effort to try and capture that slice of life, right? Because in films we create artificial periods of time, artificial passages of time, but this was much more rooted and much more natural in the way it tried to capture that boy growing through those 12 years. So that was beautiful. So Boyhood is definitely a coming of age film. And also Lady Bird by Greta Gerwig. I think it was her debut.
Debut. Yeah.
So that was a very nuanced coming of age, and it talked about the female dynamics, be it with friendships, be it with her first love, and her relationship with her mother, especially. So that was so beautiful and very liberating to watch on screen.
Make a movie like that and then you end up making Barbie.
Yeah, yes,
Oh, yeah.
that is there. But I still
also
felt Barbie
Narnia.
was an interesting film.
She's going to
Oh
make
yeah,
Narnia.
now Narnia.
Yeah. Have you seen Little Women? Same.
I
Greta
have, I
Gerwig's.
have. I loved Little Women.
Which one
So
have you
that
seen?
was a
Have you seen the Greta Gerwig one or the Emma Watson one?
I saw the Greta
This
Gerwig
thing,
one because that was the time I finished reading that book as well. So I watched hers, and I really liked the little period piece adaptation that she brought in. Yeah.
And the whole color palette thingy where you depict
Yes.
two
Yes.
different things and two different. A lot of critics thought it was like gimmicky for some reason. I
I
actually
felt it was
enjoyed it.
more natural. Yeah. I enjoyed it too. It was really beautiful to watch on screen, especially. Yeah.
Casting was solid, man.
It
Like,
was
uh,
beautiful characters, beautiful actors bringing in and depicting their best. It was amazing.
what else? Ajay, tell me this: if you ever wanted to make a short film or a movie in general, or even write a book, novella, anything like that, what kind of stories would you like to?
Oh, I think I'll definitely explore the coming of age genre because it gives a lot of scope to explore. Bring in drama, be it in romance, be it in family relationships and action events. So I think coming of age will be the best. I think I will do justice when it's a genre like that to explore. But yeah.
So you don't think it's saturated at any point? It's not saturated.
I think it's not saturated. Market wise, maybe it is, but from a creator's perspective, I think it is not that saturated because it gives more scope for being personal and it lets you put yourself into the story and the characters. So that's what makes it unique, I guess. So yeah,
Great, man. That would be nice. Coming
yeah.
of age. India made a lot of good coming of age? I can only think of a
yep.
bunch of Bollywood ones.
Yeah, I can think of Udaan. Udaan was
Okay.
a great coming of age film.
Crazy.
And yeah, beyond that, I am also like, blanking in terms of the kind of films that have come into picture. I think Wake Up Sid could be called a coming of age film.
Yes.
Also Tamasha.
His second film. Uh, and
Ye
Mukherjee's
Jawani.
second film
Ye
also.
And
Jawani Hai Diwani.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, it is written as a coming of age film.
right.
Uh,
in the
I'm
Wikipedia.
not a big fan of Ayan Mukherjee, this universe of go find yourself, run, jump
Yeah.
off a hill, or anything like that. No.
But I think Udan was a beautifully made coming of age
Udan
drama
was
about a
beautiful, bro.
boy. Yeah.
Yeah. Have
Yeah.
you seen
So him
Lutera?
escaping.
Have you
Yes,
seen
yes, I
Lutera?
have. I have. Yeah.
Did you
I
read
think again,
the short story?
doomed romance.
Did you read the short
Short
story?
story, not yet. O. Henry is the last
Yeah.
leaf. I haven't read it fully, I guess. Yeah. I'll need to revisit it, I
It's
guess.
literally like 2 pages. I read it before watching the movie. It's nothing like the movie actually. The key
Right.
concept is same, the painting a leaf and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
like,
Yeah.
okay, it's fun how you can adapt something like that, like a 2 pager into a 2 hour feature film with a
Mm-hmm.
sort of heist kind of thing. Yeah. What
Yeah,
do you
it's a
think of
beautiful.
adaptations?
I think just give me one moment. I'll just charge my device.
Take your time. So.
शॉर्ट स्टोरी का नाम क्या बोलूं?
The last leaf.
Oh, that's a part of like 9th or 10th syllabus.
Oh, yeah. It was, I guess. So, to answer your question about adaptations, I think adaptations, it depends on the artist and the kind of vision that they bring to the table, right? Because books and films are two different ball games altogether. And as avid readers, we always complain about films not being very faithful to the books, but I don't think they can ever be completely faithful 100% or even 90% to the book because it's a different medium altogether, right? And what's most striking is a kind of vision the artist brings. For instance, when Dennis Villeneuve brought, the kind of voice that he is as a director to the world of Dune, which most passionate fans of Dune did not really like Frank Herbert's readers, right? Because the book is really something altogether. It has amazing banter, it has a lot of political layered, uh, storylines, etc. And I really like what Greta Gerwig brought to the Little Women adaptation as well, with a
Crazy.
pinch of what the characters are struggling with internally, externally, and in their interpersonal dynamics as well as a family. So that was really beautiful. And I love Sense and Sensibility by Ang Lee, who adapted Jane Austen's novel, and it has Hugh Grant, Kate Winslet, Emma Thompson, and amazing performances.
They're
And it
making
was
one
a
more.
faithful adaptation as well. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
with
Jane Austen is like
Daisy
easiest
Edgar.
easiest one to adapt. All three. I think Emma was also pretty successful now.
Yes, Emma was also pretty successful. It was very beautifully made as well.
And
Yeah.
obviously have Pride and Prejudice.
Prejudice.
Mess up
Yes.
that wording.
I'll say one more thing,
Yeah.
which will, one more thing, which will make two people here angry. But James Gunn made a very
Okay,
good
so we were
adaptation
talking
of.
about like adaptation. So we were talking about like adaptation. So I always felt like it's either hit or miss. You either like please everyone or you please no one. I mean, you're
That is
from
fair.
Tamil Nadu. We have seen what Ponniyin Selvan 2 did to the audience who read the books.
Yes,
And similarly,
exactly. Yeah.
what people thought of Managram. People enjoyed Managram, na? I enjoyed
Hmm.
Managram. Have you read
Yeah.
the book of Managram?
I haven't actually read it, but yeah.
Like even I haven't read it as well. I don't think there is an English translation available or anything like that.
There is none.
And let's just say I scored very less marks with my Tirukural and all. Uh, but yeah, one of my friends read it and she actually enjoyed the movie more than the book.
Hmm.
But
Right.
Ponniyin Selvan, we saw what happened with Ponniyin Selvan.
Yeah, I think again depends on what the director does with the film. So if you're bringing a very convincing take on it or a very convincing angle on it in a very authentic manner, I think people are still interested to see what you're bringing to the entire table. And I really like what Maniratnam did with the whole adaptation genre because most of his films were spins on different mythologies.
Yeah.
It is early film in the 90s or 80s called Talapati, which was a spin on Mahabharata, which was a spin on character of Karnan and Arjuna in the modern era, right? And then again he made a film named Ravanan, which was a Viravan in Hindi, a bilingual film. It was made in both Tamil and Hindi, which was
Yeah.
again a take on the romance between Ravana and Sita, but in a very different perspective. where he showcased the flaws of the protagonist in a very convincing manner. So I love such adaptations which are the core, but adapted in a contemporary manner, right? So that's where they kind of shine. And Ravan still had that mythological undertones of him, that entire trope of Ravana dying the moment he touches Sita or something along those lines. Which again, I feel Ravanan was a film of an impossibly doomed romance, right? A romance that
Oh, come
couldn't get a
on.
chance to bloom.
You're bringing
So
that
I
thing here.
really loved it. Yeah,
Okay.
so I like such adaptations where the director makes it really unique and brings in their flavor instead of just adapting it word by word or just adapting what the book is into a screenplay. Yeah.
I don't think you can call a mythological adaptation as an adaptation. It's more like an interpretation. No? It's like,
Huh, that is it. So
yeah.
I think that has to apply to every adaptation. Like if someone is adapting a book into a screenplay or a movie into a remake again, there still has to be that level of interpretation brought in to the table.
Like, I'm pretty sure you don't have to buy any rights to adapt Ramayana or like Mahabharata, like mythologies in general. I think
Yeah,
similar to
yeah, yeah.
Shakespearean stories as well. I don't think you need
True,
any rights for that. There are like
true,
hundreds of adaptations of Macbeth and Othello and all that. I mean,
true that.
Hindi cinema's like top three, one of like favorite movies are like adaptations of Shakespearean works.
Hmm.
Are you familiar with that? Omkara,
Yeah, Haider,
Hyder
Omkar.
and Omkara. Hyder was okay, so and so, but like Omkara is something I really enjoy.
I haven't watched it fully, but I have to watch it. It's been in my watch list.
Are you familiar with Othello and the storyline of it?
I have to refresh. It's been a while.
Okay. So when I read Othello, I was like, how am I gonna adapt this? Because Othello is like mainly focused on racism and all that kind of concept.
Hmm.
In
Okay.
India, there is no white people and black people. How exactly are you gonna show Othello? But then he found a really interesting way to that of
Hmm.
like a different cast and well. So yeah, that was pretty intense. What else? Is there anything else you want to talk about in general?
I think we have covered pretty much all ground, but if there are, I'd love to hear what you guys are watching and reading as well right now so that I can pick up on something.
Okay. You guys carry on. Sure. Ayush bhai, what are you reading?
Right now I'm reading. Wait. Set up. Wait.
Okay, this guy's mute.
We are not live, so
Oh, sorry.
Recording it.
Light,
Sorry.
It's a recording.
light, power went
Joel, my
off.
excuses.
Go on. Ayush bhai, what are you watching? What are you reading?
Jaya, about that
Yeah.
second featured thing, don't you think that we have more risk appetite while making our debut film? Like, we have a successful film, people have specific expectation from our second film, and won't it just, it's just pivoting from the actual, like, you know, expectations.
Goals. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah, but since you're also established as a voice of a director, and you've proven yourself as a director, I think you are a little more daring, and people are also a lot more willing to invest in you. So there is a larger scope for your ideas. But again, it's a double-edged sword because expectations are there, which the production houses will impose on you. On the other hand, production houses will also um, give you the scope of money to go ahead and do things that you really want to do. So it's a double-edged sword again. But it becomes grander. Your vision can actually be executed in a much larger and a grander scale because you have investors coming in to help you do that.
We have seen this with Om Raut after Tanaji. He was given Adi Purush.
We also have good examples.
And bad
I'll be the guy who says, Sandeep Reddy Vanga.
Huh.
If you consider that as a good example.
I think
Okay.
that's a bad example, but it's okay. But yeah, I think the example proves how you get a larger canvas and a larger scope and a budget and larger potential actors with a pan Indian market, I guess. Yeah.
I think in Tamil Nadu it has backfired only most of the time. I think second
Yes,
feature is usually with a star, na? You prove yourself with your first feature, and this
yes.
next thing is a star.
I think, yeah, it is a very Indian cinema thing because here, uh, besides production houses and everything putting pressure on you, in Hollywood, it's the studio system. The studios exert pressure on you. But here, it's the stars. And when you bring in stars, you have to cater to their audience as well. So then it becomes a much more tricky game because you are doing two things at once, and sometimes it can give a very half-baked result.
Like I think a good example for this is that Karthik Subbaraj movie. What is it called? The one with
Retro.
the one with Rajni sir.
Rajni, Peta,
Peta. Okay,
Peta.
Peta was like the first half is like a Rajni movie, and the second half was like a Karthik Subbaraj movie. Like,
Yeah, and I think it is the same with Leo as well, where a
Ulta.
director like Lokesh, who has a very pure genre film, he makes like
Yes.
thrillers and action, etc. Coming into Vijay's universe, has to bring in songs, has to bring in, his first two films did not feature songs or feature them on a very, very minimal level. And now here he comes, he tries doing a dance number with Vijay, etc. And he tries to create those mass moments. It kind of like was a very tricky space. And even that same thing happened with his first film with Vijay, which was Master, where he tried to bring in all those elements
Yes.
together, but he still tried being faithful to his genre by positioning his antagonist in the first place, right? And then bringing in the Vijay's character and then showing redemption. But there was a forced amount of melodrama into the whole space, etc. Yeah. So I felt
There
it was
was
more that Vijay film than a Lokesh film. Yeah, please, sorry.
there was an article I think I read uh, about the movie Vijay that
Hmm.
Master, sorry, about the movie Master that Thalapati Vijay had allowed Lokesh to be uh, do what his vision was, and whatever his managers used to tell him, he used to tell them that no, let him do what he wants.
Right.
yeah.
But yeah,
More than Vijay, I think Sun TV was involved. Sun TV and LYNC. What is it called? Link, the
like
studio.
her.
Leica. Sorry, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
I think
Leica.
production houses don't have a lot of say in the creative process, especially in, I'm not sure if the Indian cinema outside Tamil Nadu, but production houses want one aspect, which is to minimize the costs and to maximize the returns. That's a only function. Unlike Hollywood production houses, they don't have a lot of creative say in how things have to be. It is completely the call of artists who have complete creative say on how things go. I don't know, like I've heard things in the industry, within the industry, about artists having certain demands of how certain tropes need to be followed in their specific films
Okay.
to have it. So I think it's again coming from a place of having to preserve the brand value, cater to their brand, and to keep their market intact. So yeah.
On that note, you worked on a movie which had a political figure or a potential political figure.
Yeah.
Did you guys get any notes like that?
No, we don't
Moreover,
think
did
so.
he sign that movie knowing ki it would be good for his political image?
Campaign.
I think it was not a political move or something because he was acting in that movie before he adapted the political space completely. So it was a movie which was taken in for its story value and also to create awareness on the kind of issues that has been hampering the state in a wider manner. And all over India, it was there. And there were no notes. There was complete liberty to explore the angle
Okay.
completely. So that was really interesting, very liberating. So the artist had the creative freedom, and it was also the director's third movie. So there was complete trust in his vision and what he is kind of putting together for the audience. Yeah.
Initially, I thought, okay, that is there is one thing to like work with a star, and then there is one thing to work with a like a potential
Political stuff.
political candidate. Yeah, yeah.
And
Right.
not only
Yeah.
political stuff, he's deputy CM now. So
But if you take Tamil Nadu's history, there have been a lot of political films which were made by the political leaders. And these films were extremely political. They were not made to be safe. They were not made to be very polite and create a rosy picture of the state. They were made to educate people on the kind of issues that were happening around them. There were issues about the flaws of the system. There were issues about corruption, etc. So even I think one of the earliest films called Parashakti was about a common man losing everything. It had refugee issue. There were refugees from Myanmar, Burma, coming to Tamil Nadu and just trying to restart their life, resume their lives here, losing everything and standing up for the flaws in the system. So that again is very interesting because we have a high amount of tolerance for that kind of films, or even an appetite for that kind of films to come
And
into the picture
and
politically.
producers ready to put money on that, like
Yeah,
stories like
producers
that.
are ready to put money on such films of dissent as well. So they
Yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
willing to invest.
I think that kind of like politically driven movies, or just like not a whitewashed movie. I
Mhm.
think in this time only Tamil and Malayalam cinema could be like are capable of making.
True. And
I
Malayalam
do,
movies,
yeah. I
yeah,
don't think. Do you think Iruvar could be made today?
I don't think so.
I don't think
I
so either.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a much more nuanced portrait that came in, and Malayalam is still continuing to make films with such levels of nuance and layered aspects, etc. And even I think Hindi has explored it in their series genre, especially
Okay.
Patalok. Patalok was very layered in its depiction of oppression and how it has invaded multiple levels of people, etc. And it put it across in a very nuanced manner. And even Masan was able to explore that angle a little bit. So I think it's slowly, breaking into the whole space, and even Article 15 that came in. So there is a kind of space that is being created, but hopefully it's much more sustained there as well.
Did you get a chance to watch a lot of art cinema in from as you worked in Mami, right? You worked in Mami, so did you
Mhm.
get a chance to like explore a lot of art cinema? I think
I
Hindi,
read.
I think Bollywood in general, Bollywood art
Mhm.
cinema is like doing really good work.
It
Some
is. It
crazy
is.
work,
So
which is not
it
too
is
bad also,
amazing.
but yeah.
I watched a really lot of crazy films in Mami. One was Amis, which was an Assamese film. I watched it in the
Okay.
theaters, and I watched it in a packed theater, and we could hear audible gasps in the ending of the film because it was so good. It was, again, an impossibly doomed romance, but it was put across in a much more subtle and very, very nuanced manner. And I loved that film. So I don't want to give any spoilers for people who haven't watched it. I think it is on Sony Live streaming. It
Assamese,
is at its,
Assamese, right?
yeah,
I've only
Assamese.
seen
So,
Tora's husband. I think that was Assamese, if I'm not
oh,
wrong. Tora's husband, it's
okay.
called. Yeah.
I haven't checked that out, but I'll check it out. But this is a very interesting film. And again, another film that I really liked, which even won the Critics Selection Young Critics Lab Award of that year, was Ib Aleu, which was
Okay.
a film that
Yes.
was so good. It was about a government employee, the grassroots level in Delhi, hired to keep off monkeys that hamper the posh areas in Delhi, right? That create havoc in those areas. So it was beautiful. It was kind of very, very well put portrait of class differences, of how inhuman these differences are. It talked about animals. It had multiple layers of oppression coded into it, be it the human or animal oppression, be it one class on the other class level of oppression. So it was something I felt was at par with something like Parasite, right? But much more rooted in what we are
Yeah.
seeing every day. It was a heartbreaking film to watch, but it's really beautiful. Ivaleu.
It was so meta. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
bro, like crazy.
I've
That movie
never
was
seen a
fun.
portrait of Delhi like that. So it was really like, it's always a Bollywood image of Delhi that comes in,
Okay.
but this portrait of actual Delhi on what things people kind of go through every day. And, it was really amazing.
The director who made E Baleo, he said he
Mhm.
has seen. There is a movie called. What was that Nasuruddin Shah movie which is really known for?
Uh,
Uh,
Wait 1 second.
A
It's called.
Wednesday.
It's called
that's a
Jane Bhi Do Yaro.
जाने भी दो यारो
okay,
जाने भी दो
Jana Bhi
Ah,
यारो
Dayaro.
acha, acha, हाँ.
The director who actually worked on a documentary book based on Jane
Mhm.
Bhi Do Yaro. He was like, I saw that movie like 15 times and he learned scene structuring based on that.
Wow.
Do you know what exactly a scene structuring is?
So, scene structuring will mostly involve, from my understanding, there is no rigid definition of it, or it depends on person to person. For some, it could involve storyboarding, and for some, it could involve structuring at the writing level itself, be it when in that scene is a conflict being introduced and when is the payoff being built. If a scene is built for being a payoff to the next scene or being a lead up to the next scene, how to build tension within the scene through characters, dialogue, scene setting, etc. For instance, in certain scenes, wind could be a character, the light could be a character, like, the kind of lighting that they create, and the camera movements within the scene to create a certain amount of tension. So I think all of it in the writing level, the framing level, and also the editing level comes into the scene structure. Yeah.
Crazy. Even the person who made all we imagine as light. What was
Yes,
her
Pal
name?
Kapadia.
I'll
Uh,
Pal Kapadia.
even she said ki she learned scene structuring through Charulata, the Ray film.
Yes, Ray film. It's beautiful. It's amazing film.
Yeah.
It's again based on a short story, right?
Yes, Charulata was based on
Tagore's
a.
short story, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Have you read that? Have you
I
read the
haven't
short?
read it fully. I think it's a lengthier short story. It's not a very compact one. But I think I've read it partially, but not fully. But I love the film. Yeah.
I don't think it's very accessible though. Like it's pretty
Mhm.
difficult to find also. I think it's
Yeah.
stuck in some like a compilation book or something
I
like that.
think, yes, it is a part of a compilation for sure. Yeah.
Because like novella or a novelette can be sold separately, but not
Hmm.
a short story, na.
True, true. Yeah.
So it's like that. What else? What else have you watched in like northern cinema or like Bollywood in general?
Bollywood, I've watched Anurag Kashyap's filmography, Vikramaditya Motwani's. I love films like Dev D, Gangs of Wasaipur.
One second.
Um,
One second. You like Dev D?
I do. It's
Have you
a very
seen Devdas?
interesting
Have you
film.
seen Devdas?
I haven't actually. It's
That
Sanjay
makes
Leela
sense.
Bhansali's, but I
Makes
haven't
sense.
watched it yet.
Makes sense.
But again, Devdi is an example of a well-made adaptation with a very personal and a unique interpretation. It's a very unique interpretation.
It is
It's
a
not
unique
Devdas.
interpretation.
It's not Devdas, but it's unique. It kind of puts across who the director is in a very interesting manner. That way, I really liked. And it has an amazing album as well.
Oh yeah, Amit Trivedi killed it in that
Crazy
album.
album. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pardesi.
Yeah, that's an amazing emotional atyachar and all that.
The
So
trippy video too.
yes,
It
amazing
was very trippy, no? Yeah.
production design. Yeah, and I really like Vikramaditya Motwani's work, be it Lutera. I really like this show also, Jubilee, and yeah, I think there are films like Udan and Masan, Neeraj Kaiwan, and I like those films. I think they're really very gritty in what they are. I love Mukkabaz as well. I like Karib Karib Single, something cute and nice, and Piku, October, Badlapur. So there are a lot of films that I really enjoyed watching in the Bollywood space as well. Yeah.
I
What
have to
about
admit.
S. Raghavan?
Sriram Raghavan, yes, I really like his
Badlapur. She said
Badlapur.
Badlapur. Yeah.
Andhadhun,
Yeah.
Badlapur.
Oh,
I haven't
Andhadhun, like
watched Merry Christmas yet, but I have to.
It is fun.
it's good
Yeah.
movie.
It's again based on a short story. Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
I didn't know
Nice.
it. I didn't know it was based on a short story. After the movie ended, it was written as it was based on this. That's why I predicted the twist. Sort of like I've seen that twist so many times. But yeah,
Nice, nice. Yeah. So I really enjoyed these films, and Partha Lok is one of my favorite shows ever. Uh, so yeah.
what else? What do you like watch for fun? Obviously, you are into like. Okay, are you like an elitist sort of like watching
No, not at
elite
all. I
cinema?
like all kinds of films. I just I presently I'm in the zone where I cannot stomach hard-hitting films because I'm not able to, like, get in the right mind space for watching them. But I really enjoy watching feel-good romances and feel-good dramas where everything is all right at the end of the film. Or even if
Okay.
it's not all right, people have a lighter way of taking it. I love films like 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, Superbad, Seth Rogen's films, etc. So that's really fun for me to watch. Yeah.
What kind of like rom-coms or is chick flick a right word or is it like a bad word of saying? I told my friend chick flick and she almost like punched me. Don't call it chick
I think it
flick.
depends on the context that you're using. So, chick flick is not a great term, but yeah, I like those kinds of films with a very, you know, I think Amy Poehler had a film called Wine Country or something like that, which was about a bunch of females exploring in their 50s on her 50th birthday, exploring a holiday after being in being caught up in their respective responsibilities and whatnot. So Wine Country, but it's not a chick flick, but it's a very fun film about a bunch of females in their 50s, in their middle age, navigating life in crisis, right? So something like that is I really enjoy those kinds of films, and I really like films like 10 Things I Hate About You and films like Hitch, which are well made, romantic dramas that do not take a dig at women or like put them down in certain ways or portray them in a very superficial manner. Yeah.
Hitch is that
Will Smith's film with Eva Mendes.
where he's like trying to like get an
Matchmaking.
actress, matchmake a fat guy with
Yeah.
an actress, no? That one,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Oh, that was a
Yes, yes.
fun movie.
Partner's original version.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fun movie. I think the reason why chick flicks are like downgraded sort of is because of Netflix dramas, no? Netflix shows in general, shows and the rom-com
I
movies which
haven't
they produce.
watched many of them because I haven't heard great reviews or anything. So maybe it could be because of that. Could be because they are portrayed in a very superficial manner, in a manner that caters to the mass gaze, I guess. So
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, yeah. Like the kind of rom-com movies you have mentioned, like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. That's a movie, na? How to Lose
Mm.
a Guy in 10 Days. I really like that one. Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
films. And then this suddenly, when the
10
Netflix
things
came
I
in,
hate about you as well.
10 Things that I Hate About You, and then Five Weddings and what is it called?
Funeral. Yeah,
yeah,
five
Funeral.
weddings
Silver.
and a funeral.
Crazy. Yeah, that one. And
Like
obviously,
four weddings and
Notting Hill. Notting Hill,
yeah,
obviously.
not in yeah.
So these were like sort of the movie rom-coms which Hollywood used to make, and then Netflix came into picture, and there was a production company called Awesomeness, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which adapted a movie called To All the Boys I've Loved, something like that.
Okay.
That one.
To All
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
Boys trilogy.
it's actually quadrology now. There is a show called Hello Kitty based on that.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, that became like that was like a huge hit, and then after that, Netflix has been adapting the same kind of same color palette rom-com movies, Kissing Booth, and all those things, like similarly.
Wattpad.
Right.
Some are good,
Wattpad
some are
movies.
like okay, like I've seen this 21 times, that kind of things. But I think finally, like sort of even Hollywood is back with the old kind of rom-com movies. Anyone But You and Materialist. Have you seen Materialist?
Yes. I have it yet.
Okay. Some people are calling it rom-com. Some people are like, this is not a rom-com. I don't know
But
what that is.
building on that Netflix point, I think Netflix is also why, though they are making movies for the market's sake, they've also made this movie called The Incredible Jessica James, which is amazing, which is an amazing romantic comedy, which is told from a female perspective as well. And they have had films like The Half of It, which is again a very nice, tender romance. So it's again based on what they popularize rather than what they make, I guess. So that is also there, yeah.
What are your thoughts on this like streaming platforms? Actually, the good way to put it is tech companies trying to make movies. These are tech companies. Yeah, they
That
are
is
like
true.
dominating. Like one of the biggest production company today is the Apple TV. They are a tech company who are like producing your entertainment and art. What are your
They
thoughts
are
on
Yeah.
streaming
still they are
services?
still the good ones.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jaya has watched The Studio, by the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice,
love the studio. It's
nice.
amazing. So when they're making shows like the studio, when they're making stuff like Ted Lasso, Shrinking, it's amazing. And they're helping make films like The Killers of the Flower Moon, etc. So it's really amazing what they're getting
F1.
out. F1, yes, F1 again. I'm keeping my Apple subscription alive so that I can watch F1. After that, I might have to rethink. But yeah, Severance and all that stuff, which is really terrific. So when they are, it depends on, you know, the kind of work and the kind of vision they bring to the art. But there is again a common skepticism about these companies because they might treat movies as art, or sorry, movies as content, not as art, right? So that's where the criticism and skepticism come into the picture. But they are trying Netflix again banks on content and then also does some movies and approaches it in a very artistic manner. Be it The Irishman, they commissioned the whole film and it was a Netflix release and they did not cut the length and everything and gave it a platform to be streamed. So it is again a very a subjective thing, right? So, but the larger trend is that streaming platforms are veering towards viewing movies as content. So that again is a matter of concern. But when they don't, I think they make amazing work.
They do. I think uh, this was like very transparent from their side also. There is a blog called Netflix Tech Blog. It's on Medium.
Mhm.
They have clearly mentioned that the whole reason we put aside a certain amount of budget to like art film directors and those kind of directors is because we want to be marketed in that space as well, like Sundance Film Festival and like Mami and
Right.
TIFF and Toronto and
Exactly.
all those places. They want to be everywhere. They wanted to be in sports as well. That's why you see a lot of sports documentaries. They just acquired like WWE Federation for
Yep,
like a
yep, yep.
ridiculous amount of money, and they are actually in a bidding war with ESPN for I think it's called what is that baseball thingy, which American sport,
NBC.
not
NBC.
Oh,
NFL,
sorry, baseball. Sorry, both of basketball.
Yankees and all those kind of ones. Basically, in
Okay.
America, baseball is like pretty huge apparently, and then they are
Yes.
in a bidding war with ESPN, whose ESPN is sort of like a domination in American everything, NBA,
Yep, yep.
NFL, and all those things. So, I think the main reason they want to like produce like Killers of the Flower Moon and all those is because Ed Sarandos wants to sit in that Golden Globe chair like he does in the studio.
The
Studio.
studio, yes.
That was very well
Good
put
point.
up. But good for us. A
Yeah.
lot of good movies have been produced
Movies.
by Netflix as well.
True.
But in India, it's not very
Yeah.
Kennedy. You
Unfortunately,
heard about
yes.
Kennedy, right? Kennedy is being shelved. The Anurag Kashyap
Oh,
movie.
yes,
Oh,
Anurag Kashyap's movie. Damn, that's sad. I wish it
uh,
could get a platform to release.
because of CBFC guidelines or something.
CBFC guidelines. They were not
Yeah.
releasing, and plus it was supposed to release on Z5 at least, if not theaters.
Mhm.
But even Z5 is like we cannot like take this risk.
Yeah.
So yeah,
He
that was
pirated.
That's like one of the 3 movies which got shelved because of CBFC and all that. Did you guys take Maman
Right.
into CBFC?
Yeah. I think
Yes.
it was taken to CBFC.
I'm sorry,
They're
like,
very
were you involved in that process?
not technically,
Okay.
because it's a very individual process. It's just the directors and the producers have to send a copy of the film, posted, subtitled, dubbed, and etc. So just that, and there are very minimal edits. I don't think there were any thought of it. Yeah.
Uh, you guys never had to deal with that 3 cuts, 4 cuts demand from them, something like that?
I don't think so. Even for Karnan and Maman and even the first film, I don't think they were that substantial.
Cool. I don't think Maman could be made in Bollywood in general. No way.
Right. Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think CBFC would be that open to a movie like Maman, no?
Maybe. I think maybe it depends on how kind of panel it comes and certifies the film as well, I guess. Yeah.
Oh.
They're adding political quotes to movies that which have no political agenda or anything like Sitare. So of course.
Zameen Par, yeah.
There is a movie coming out right now. It's called Sadak 2. No, Dhadak 2, I think. It's
Dhadak
called
2,
Dhadak
yeah.
Product to
2,
product to
which is a
Yeah.
remake for of that Mari Selvaraj movie, his first movie.
Yeah. His first
Pari
movie. Yeah. Kariyerum
Yeah.
Perumal.
Yeah. 12 cuts, I think. It has been gone through 12 cuts. Have you
Yeah.
seen the trailer for that?
I did. It did not look anything like the original, but yeah, I think it's a way of adaptation as well. It's even set in a tier 2, tier 3 city, not in a very rural space. And it's interesting. It's a very different take on the characters and this thing itself. So I think it'll be a whole new movie altogether.
I hated that trailer. It's a glamorized version of what is this?
Yeah.
I think bad casting as well. I didn't like the casting.
Yeah.
What else? Tell us about yourself, na? How did you
Me?
get? Yeah. How
Oh,
did you get
yeah.
into
So I
IITM
was
Ghaziabad, bro?
IMT Ghaziabad, yeah.
IMT Ghaziabad, yeah.
Right, it's a great place to be in. So, I just started with film journalism and film criticism. So that's how I got a chance to be an intern at the Cinema Express, which is the entertainment wing of the New Indian Express. And I wrote a article about the 2 years of that Pariyanam Perumal movie, which is being adapted into Dadak 2.
Oh, okay.
So I also wrote about the director's books. A lot of the content, he has written a collection of short stories and a memo of sorts. So a lot of that feeds into his first film. So I wrote a article about that and about the literary comparisons, etc. And then that's how I got a chance to be an assistant director in Karnan and in Maman. And post that, I wanted to embrace writing because writing was the one that got me into filmmaking in the first place. So I enjoy film writing more than filmmaking because these are two different spheres and ways of work altogether. And then I got into ghostwriting for the publishing company Notion Press, where I've worked with
Okay.
40 authors in nonfiction books specifically. And I wanted to get into the strategy and the business side of content, right? Not just the creative part of content. So that's how I am. I wanted to do an MBA in a top tier school. Yeah, that's where I am.
Easy. What are your thoughts on ghostwriting?
Ghostwriting is again, I enjoyed ghostwriting, but ghostwriting is where you act as a medium for writers. It's a very, delicate space to be in because you're being a vessel for their ideas and their thought processes, etc. And so a high amount of collaboration and trust is required in the entire process. And though I'm not one for, uh, you know, the complete credits to be given to the ghostwriter, it's important to acknowledge their work and assistance in the process to ensure that, you kind of give them a platform and give them a platform to showcase their work and also give them a sense of acknowledgement for what they have contributed to the book. I think that is slowly happening with people coming out and talking about their books being ghostwritten, be it Ankur Warikoo and authors, etc., worldwide who are doing that. Yeah.
But like, don't you think a lot of YouTubers or these like celebrities, even these influencers and all, everyone is like publishing the next big Penguin release or like the New York Times bestseller, and then obviously it's like ghostwritten. You can see, obviously Millie Bobby Brown is not writing a book. It's like ghostwritten and all. You're okay with that? I mean, you've worked
It
as a
has to be
ghostwriter as well.
acknowledged. It has to be acknowledged that they have available writing services in any manner, etc. Be it in the level that they wish. But most ghostwriting projects that I've worked with were not my ideas completely, right? It's the author telling the ideas every step of the way, and we are just putting words to their ideas. So you cannot take complete credit for that because you are not the original ideator of the specific book. You are a narrator. But I think that narrating aspect has to be acknowledged and it has to come up. And I think slowly it is coming up. It's at a very nascent stage, but yeah, it has to evolve in a lot more, advanced level.
But isn't it the whole purpose of ghostwriting that you won't get credit for your work? And
Exactly. I'm not advocating for credit, but just acknowledge that writing services or, you've availed
okay,
an
okay.
assistance from some person to put it together. Yeah.
Making your connections with the publishers or at least giving you a platform.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Or just like admitting that I have used a ghostwriter in general, na?
And
That
I
kind of
think
thing.
it's more than for a ghostwriter, it's just to give transparency to your readers than acknowledging ghostwriters. Yeah.
Ankur Warikoo just wrote a lot for this, na? You're releasing one
Yeah.
book a year. Like 4 years, you're releasing like what, 4 books? Like that kind of.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that until like uh, I see like a Kendall Jenner or a Kylie Jenner writing a book. I'm like, shut up! You did not write a book. I don't think you even read a book, something like that. You're writing books right now, and then coming and talking, saying, "Okay, I poured my aura into this page." Like, shut up! You did not pour anything into that page.
Right.
Okay, so while
What
we
is?
are on topic of books, she asked that she wanna know that what are we reading?
Yeah,
Okay, so
exactly.
uh, I have a YouTube channel, okay, which I have
Hmm.
started for doing book reviews and all. But
Link,
I saw
link.
that, there are so many people doing the same. So I
Mhm.
gradually shifted that to a different kind of, more very unique kind of content where I compared two different type of books,
Mhm.
stories basically. Okay, so one of that is I compared Ramayana with Game of Thrones, and I compared Mahabharata with Attack on Titan. So
Mhm.
the third one,
Just not out
which
yet.
for which I am completing my script is this book.
Oh,
Mein
Mein
Kampf.
Kampf.
Okay.
Okay, autobiography of Hitler. Also,
With
Yeah.
I will say. So you all know that this book has been banned in overall worldwide for more than 20 years, and then
me.
a few
Yep.
decades, maybe 2 decades ago, the ban was lifted. It was, although it is an autobiography, but backstories, there are too many authors, there are again ghost authors who
Mhm.
are involved in this. So this book is accused for more than 2 million death worldwide, because it's
Okay.
motivated, not the correct word, but it motivated so many people for the for Jews, whatever Holocaust we have seen with for the World War
Yes.
also. And I am comparing it with so maybe first of all, to make it not in a negative way, I'm
Oh,
comparing it with, in this book also it says
Gita. Sure.
Arjuna, that he don't want to fight, okay, but Bhagwan Krishna wanted him to fight, and he gave him many teachings and all, and he motivated him to fight. Same way Hitler did in, not exactly the same way, not exactly the video will clarify it, but the theme was same. The he motive of the author, whatever he was, that was different, but the theme of both the book are same, that go and fight,
Shout out of
go and fight.
Ayush, I'll suggest that you make this video in English so that Jaya also gets clarity what you are trying to say.
I will try, but book, the video will
subtitles.
consist of so many sloks and all, so I will try to make
Okay.
it in English.
Nice.
But so overall, this, I know that
That's
it is very it's going to be very controversial, especially in the time we are
Yes.
in currently in
Exactly.
India. But
Now, Jaya is afraid to be part of this
no, no,
discussion.
no. I'm not. No, I'm
no,
not.
I will
But
clarify it.
can
That
yeah,
is nothing in negative way. I'm not,
I
Huh.
but
understand.
it just the idea is the same. Idea is same. Ramayana and Game of Thrones also, that is also controversial, but the idea
Very.
is a person who fight back. That's
That's interesting. Also, can we wrap up in the next 10 minutes or so? I
yes, yes.
just have something coming up.
So
Okay,
even Joel was reading a
okay.
film
One,
criticism book,
acha,
right?
okay, book.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
yes.
Yeah.
Cinema speculation by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, okay, nice. Oh,
Yeah.
cinema speculation. I'm reading it too. I have it in my hostel as well. It's amazing. Yeah. It's written in a very um with such love for cinema and with such
Yes.
admiration. And yeah.
I'll borrow it from you after you complete it.
Yes, yes, sure.
Seen the first two
Rehan,
movies.
we can take questions from the
Sure, sure.
audience.
Before that,
By the
I'm
way, I have to
reading.
ask. I have to
Huh.
ask.
Yeah.
If someone wanna become an assistant director or anything with the production of the movie, how can he or she be?
I think
Like,
they will need
if
to.
there any
Mhm.
specific degree or anything you can specify.
Not technically, because anyone interested in films can be a part of this thing. And it also depends on the personal quirks of the director in hiring the ADs. Some directors prefer people with an educational background, people who have done mass comm, journalism, etc. And some don't. Some just look for the thirst, and that's majority of people are looking for people who have the thirst and love for cinema and have a body of work to show for it, be it articles, be it blogs, be it short films that you have made. And I think short films are a great space to showcase your work and also kind of build a video portfolio that you can showcase to a director for becoming a part of the team, showing that you have did something and you also can contribute in a manner. Yeah. I think short films are a great place to start. It will help you discover
I,
yourself.
Yes,
I did
yes.
make one, but
That's great. Yeah.
Ah,
planning to do more.
tell her about it. the theme of what you made.
Pretty fun
And
one.
how
So
long was
there,
it?
it was 8 minutes long, but it
Wow.
became boring for many people.
Around a
It
decade.
actually it's just a 15 seconds clip running on a loop for
Okay.
8 minutes. So there was a film came I think 2 years, 1 or 2 years ago, known as Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Amazing film. Yeah.
So there was a scene in the movie where they are like crashing through different universes. The
Mhm.
mother and the daughter, their consciousness
Yes.
are crashing through different universes.
Yes, I
So
know.
suddenly they get into a universe where there are two rocks.
Yeah, it's a beautiful scene.
Yeah, so like complete chaos and then complete calm of the two
Mm.
rocks just talking to each other in text, not even in
Yes.
voice,
Yeah.
in text.
Yeah.
So I really like that scene. So I was like, even I can do this. So I did it with a popcorn and a French fry.
Oh,
So
nice, nice.
the scene was that a guy drops a French fry and then a popcorn is already there. So both of them are talking through text in that 8 minute short film.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah. That's really a nice, quirky film. I'd love to see that.
Have you made
It's,
any short films or like do you want to make?
I have made a couple. It was just one during my 12th grade, I think. It was for a school, this thing, a project or something. And one for my postgrad diploma. I made it like 3 years ago. It's just a very, it's about a single character just exploring. And, it's a very small film, but I'd love to make something more wholehearted where I kind of pour everything into it. I haven't had the time or energy to put myself completely into those short films. So I'd love to make something very
I, sh-
minimal.
I showed you my short film, and you never once mentioned that you were also made some short films.
Right. I just didn't make it like because I don't think they're a complete representation of what I want to do. But yeah, I'm not fully satisfied with them. So
So man,
Okay.
hopefully you make a short film and please, we wanted to react to that. We would love to
sure,
react to that.
sure. Lovely,
Uh,
will do. Yeah.
I just have one question
Yeah.
before we go to the audience's question. Do you get paid well as an AD?
Not considerably well for the work that we do, but yeah, decent, yes.
I don't think you go into that industry for getting paid, na. You want to
Yeah.
do this because, But
Learning,
like,
yeah.
is it decent at least? Rent and
Uh,
sort of those kind of
It
stuff.
is decent depending on the director that you're working with and also the production house that you sign up with. So ours was decent. So yeah,
Hmm. Were you getting paid monthly or was that like an end of
monthly,
the
monthly. Yeah.
monthly you're getting paid? And it covered your PG or I think you lived in Chennai that time, no? So
Yeah,
there is
yeah,
no.
yeah. So
But do you think it's okay?
it depends on the person's financial position as well. So if you are someone looking for like, if you can support yourself, if financially, then yes. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a hit that you need to take financially to get into it. Yeah. It can be a huge hit financially to get into it and spend a year. You're not getting paid that considerably well, and still you're putting 200% work into it. Yeah.
Even time, na? You're putting on a
Yeah.
year at
It's
least, na?
time. Exactly.
That is there. Yeah, Ayush bhai, we can go with the audience question. Before that,
Jaya, how much time do we have?
I'm
Do we
reading
have?
this one by the way. It's called
Oh, that's
Babel by
great.
R.F.
Babe,
Kwan.
brother.
Yeah,
Okay. Nice.
yeah,
We can conclude it 250, possible?
Okay,
Yes.
sure.
yep.
yeah. Go on.
Pragya.
Have you read Babel by the way?
Oh,
R.F. Kwan.
I haven't. I haven't.
It's fun. It's like Harry Potter for adults. It's
Oh,
like that one. Yeah.
nice. Nice.
Like a lot of professors in this mythical world are like racist. It's like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Straight up. But it's pretty good. It's about a guy who's learning linguistic, sort of like that. He's
Hmm.
learning about language in a fictional world. So it's pretty
That's
fun.
really interesting. Yeah, I'll check
This
it
is
out.
this is basically if Harry Potter actually studied. It's like that. It is set in a
Okay.
library. It is set in a classroom. It's actually focused on
Oh,
how difficult a wizard curriculum would be. It's like that.
oh, nice. That's really interesting.
It's really nice. Yeah. It has a pretty good
oh,
grading system, which was not
Mm.
pretty. Did you read Harry Potter? Have you read Harry Potter or like
No,
watched
I'm
the
not
movie?
one for fantasy fiction, so I haven't followed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're more into like real people, huh?
Yeah,
It's like
like
that kind of
more
genre.
realistic dramas and stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, that
Wonderful.
is a
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I restricted my world of books, but yeah.
Hmm. Huh, we can take questions. Come on.
Audience questions?
Hmm.
Uh, we have mostly talked about all the questions that
No,
audience
one
had,
question is there.
but
One question is
huh,
there. Abhinav का
There
question
is,
है.
yes, Abhinav.
How South are making movies in a small budget? Are they cutting cost on other things, or they have some special techniques?
I don't think it's cutting costs. Like, for instance, I think I'll take the example of Malayalam cinema because every other film industry, Tamil, Telugu, are extremely expensive in what
Yeah.
kind of films they are making. But the salaries that they have to pay for their artists will be considerably lesser than Bollywood because of obviously the Bollywood demand and market pricing and stuff. But in Malayalam industry, I'm not sure, but I think they have a rule on what maximum amount an artist can get paid for a film as a
Okay.
part of their production council and an actor council. I have to verify this. I'm not fully sure, but that kind of practice still exists. So an actor cannot be paid beyond a certain amount for the film that they're acting. So it applies to all kinds of units, be it star production designers, star cinematographers, star directors as well. So that's why Malayalam cinema is able to make the kind of films they are making, and they are a well-oiled machinery when it comes to productions. Like they can make an entire feature film. There was a feature film by Lijojo Pellissieri
Oh.
called Malay Nerathu Mayakam or Nanpagal Nerathu Mayakam, sorry, which was a film starring Mammootty in a very sleepy town and something like that. It was a kind of a fantasy touched magical realism kind of film. I haven't watched it yet. It's on Netflix. So that film was made within a span of a month, the entire production. So that's how well organized they are in terms of getting to the sets and getting things together. But for most other films, uh, the pre-production planning, the pre-shooting planning is not that well oiled or well done. So they directly jump into shooting depending on the call sheet of the stars and the artists, etc. And they start shooting earlier, they start shooting very late, or they start shooting intermittently depending on the availability of the artist. So it's more centered around the artists and more industries. While in films like Malayalam industry, it's more spread out, and though it's revolving around the artist, a larger emphasis is on the production and all those aspects. So I think that's why they're able to make films with the small budgets and also the restraints on the maximum pricing for artists.
okay. Also, Jaya, one last question. Is there any director or actor in Bollywood, if you ever get a chance, you would like to work with? If you have any such names in your mind, or we can just skip this
Uh,
question.
Any
I think
list?
I, I think I'll love to
Oh,
work with Meera Nair. She is an amazing director, I guess. I'd love to monsoon weddings in
Srikant?
films.
Salam Bombay. Salam
Salam
Bombay.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Bombay. Yeah, so I really love her style. So I'd really love to explore her space of working. Yeah, definitely.
Great.
New York politics, but okay.
Okay.
Right.
One more question we have.
Hey, that
It's
guy's
from
winning, by the
Yes,
way.
please.
Sun is winning. Yeah.
Shivam Kumar.
it's from no Anmol.
Okay.
Uh, he's asking that why there are two industries basically, Telugu industry and Tamil industry, and in
Mhm.
recent time Telugu industry is releasing and marketing their movies in north region, but Tamil is still not doing that. The question is why, if you can answer.
Uh, I think Telugu industry is more driven towards making pan-Indian films. They want a wider market, and they are making films with mass appeal. If you see a large amount of Telugu films, a lot of Tollywood movies are mass movies. Like their predominant production are mass movies, which are very easily marketable to a wider range of audiences, especially a pan-Indian audience, right? But Tamil movies have, though there are mass movies, etc., they're still rooted somehow that they cannot, work very well beyond certain barriers. And I think there are budget restrictions also. And a lot of Telugu movie stars like Prabhas, Allu Arjun, etc., have cracked the North Indian market already. Be it Prabhas with Bahubali, Saho, and other
Yeah.
films of his, Adi Purush and whatnot. And since there is already a market for that kind of stars, etc., they are able to get the budgets and market it widely. But in Tamil, they're still cracking it, and there are still smaller films also being made predominantly. So very few mass movies are made, and the mass stars here haven't had a very pan-Indian success. So that is also one of the reasons. Yeah.
Great.
So
Okay, I
I think
think
we'll have
Yeah.
to
now's the time to conclude our discussion. Thanks,
Right.
It
Jaya,
was
for
very
being with us.
fun
It
session.
was
Oh,
a very
before
Knowledgeable.
going one
Yeah.
second. Before
Yes.
going,
Yes.
all of us will recommend a movie for you, and obviously you
Yes.
can
Please.
recommend
Oh,
one as well.
Yeah.
Something
okay.
Tamil though. Recommend a Tamil movie, a good one for all of us.
Okay. Okay. First, you guys go. I'll think till then.
Me, okay. I'll recommend a movie called Here, Here. Here.
Okay.
Issa
Okay.
like, matlab, it came this year, right?
The whole movie is shot in like one room. Okay. So
Mhm.
basically, what they do
Tom
is
Hanks.
they basically take a
Oh,
house and then plant a camera in one place. Okay.
nice. Nice.
Oh,
And 30 years has gone by, goes by in that same
Oh,
house,
damn.
like
Okay.
in a
Oh,
single
yeah, yeah, yeah,
frame.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yes,
you
yes, I've
might have
heard
seen the
about this
trailer.
film.
You might have seen the
I've
trailer as
watched the
well.
trailer, yeah.
It is super
That's
fun. It's
nice.
made by the same people who made Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump,
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
there was a Stephen King adaptation called Green Mile. They did that as well.
Mm,
Yeah,
that's
so
lovely.
they
Yeah.
made that. That's a crazy movie. Just to like be amazed by it. The story is okay occasionally, but yeah, the execution is something you can marvel at. That is fun.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Also a
Joel.
doomed romance, as you call it.
Right. I'll
Yeah.
definitely check it out.
Joel,
I,
do you have
I I'd like to recommend, but I think you might have seen it. Anora.
Anora, I
Anora.
haven't watched it yet. Sean Baker's, right? I have to
Yes,
watch it.
great
Yeah.
recommendation. Yes.
Ayush
It
bhai?
is. It is a doomed romance after the romance.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I will watch it. Yeah. I love Sean
Yeah.
Baker's The Florida Project, and yeah, I would
Oh,
love to watch it. Yeah.
Okay,
Ayush bhai.
so you must have seen it also. The Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness,
Yes,
yes.
yes. It's
L-
amazing.
One
Yeah.
of my most favorite movie. So that
Hmm.
is. And if you have seen
Amazing.
it, then I would say most of movies which I have seen, you already have seen, and you have also discussed that. 12 Angry Men, if you
Yes, yes.
most
Hindi bata.
Yeah, lovely.
Hindi movie.
I'm proud.
huh. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Still, I will remember. Ragesh, if I will.
I don't have any such movie in mind. I was going to suggest Eternal Sunshine of Spotless Mind, but
I haven't watched
it's
it.
obvious.
Cheers.
Juk Juk
Oh, you
Jio.
haven't watched it yet?
I watched it, yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, Jay, you
It's
go
amazing.
ahead.
I think I'd love to recommend a latest Tamil film. I'd love to recommend classics,
You
but I
watch
thought a
Hindi
contempt.
movies? Hindi movies you watch?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You
obviously,
have
yeah.
watched Anand.
I haven't watched Anand yet.
Anand is
That
good.
is very,
Anand,
also very
Anand.
good.
I will.
Anand is good. Yeah. Go on, go on.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like to recommend this contemporary film called Lover. Lover is actually a toxic romance, but portrayed very beautifully. I wouldn't say it has romanticized it, it has portrayed it as is. Um, so people have misinterpreted the endings and they glorified the entire hero character, but it's not. When you see it from a completely objective lens, it's a very good example of a toxic romance made without glorifying the aspects of the toxicity, I guess. But I was not really keen on how the audience received it or reacted to certain scenes. They were glorifying it, but I feel that the film hasn't glorified it in a very nuanced way.
I
But
don't think that is a very good movie to educate a young guy specifically.
yeah, no,
I
no, no. But it is for an audience who've seen it and who can make a call for themselves on what is right and what is wrong. Because it's a movie about two people. One is anxiously attached to the relationship, and the other is, more securely attached and wants to break out of the entire toxic loop that's being brought on by the other person. So it's not an example of how to be in a relationship, but it's an example of a film that takes a very very subjective topic and portrays things without you know romanticizing things and without making a very um uh, without policing its characters, I would say.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've seen such relationships around me. I haven't been in such. So
Good.
sure.
I will give this movie a
Yeah,
try
but
Yeah.
I
and see
have
It's, I
how
think,
seen,
yeah.
it.
I saw what that movie does to a college student, bro. Like, okay, you're taking the wrong lesson
Yeah, that
from
is
this
people
movie?
taking the wrong lesson,
Yeah,
but the
like
film did not portray the
Yeah.
wrong lesson. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
I
the
was a
difference
little.
between
Huh.
films like Arjun Reddy, Kabir
Yeah,
Singh, and films
exactly.
like
Huh.
this, because this is, I would
Fight
say,
Club.
Arjun Reddy done right.
Hmm.
Done
I mean,
right because it just portrays without glorifying,
yeah.
without the
Yeah.
thumping background music, the thumping heroism feeds, etc. Yeah,
But when you see the audience reaction to it, I'm like, you're not supposed to
that is
cheer
bad. Yeah,
for
I
that
know,
one.
I know,
That
I
guy is
know.
doing wrong. This is toxic. You're not supposed
Exactly.
to be in that.
And the film is not doing anything. It's
Yeah.
not adding anything to glorify it. The film is not adding background music, nothing. Though the ending is a little ambiguous on what stance the film is taking, it still does not go outright and say that this guy is right. It just
Yeah.
is being sympathetic to all of its characters in a certain way.
I mean, it
And it
was very
is,
realistic as well. Na?
yeah,
That
it's
is
a
why
very
I happened.
realistic portrait. Yeah,
What I hated about that movie was the kind of Instagram edits which was coming out after that movie. Like,
that is
why are you
audience reaction.
glorifying this? This is not
I
right. This
mean,
is
if
not
you
right.
take that case, the film I worked with, there were Instagram edits glorifying the antagonist and his pride. So
Okay.
you
Yeah.
cannot you cannot be
Oh yeah,
responsible
right,
for
right.
how audience reacts to it because the film did nothing to glorify him. But the audience glorified him and what he did and the kind of like, the aura he brought in. So that is what
But
audience
Yeah.
reactions can be very
aren't these
subjective.
edits majorly PR driven?
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no,
These
no,
are
no.
What?
fan-made edits.
Fan made it. Like Tamil Nadu is very well known for like fan pages a lot, like
Yeah.
proper
Okay,
fan. Like
okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
banner पे photos वगैरह होगा fan pages
हाँ
पे.
हाँ.
Like if a Vijay movie
हाँ.
is
Yeah.
releasing, there is a Vijay fan base whose banner will be, yeah, like if you are a part
Oh,
of
Yeah.
that fan base, your photo will be in that banner.
Oh,
Like there will be a
Yeah.
If you ever
Vijay photo
if
and
you ever
then
spot such poster again, send us a pic.
Yeah. Fair,
uh,
yeah.
Very interesting. Okay,
Cool.
okay. So,
Great then.
okay, Jaya, thank you so much for being with us, and
yes,
it was really a fun and informative
informative
conversation.
actually. Yes.
It felt
Same,
very short,
likewise.
but I think that we'll have you again sometime in
Sure.
future.
hopefully.
I'd love to.
That'd
I'd
be
love
really
to. And it
good.
was great interacting with you guys. So thank you so much for having
Oh,
me. Yeah.
you've been living in Ghaziabad for a while now. Have you
Yes.
caught up on Hindi a little bit?
Yes, I have caught up on Hindi a little bit. It's just when I know to read and write Hindi, but I can't speak very fluently because I've not been surrounded by people who constantly speak it, but I'm being surrounded by people like Pragya who constantly speak it. So now I've gotten better.
I only converse in English around you, okay?
I know. I'm just pulling like
Okay, okay.
That's so.
perfect.
But like
Great.
we'll see. Next time maybe you speak in
We
English.
will
Yeah.
speak in Hindi. Yeah, I will speak in Hindi.
I'll speak
Yes.
in
No, no,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay. Sorry.
English
Yeah.
will work, but okay.
Cool. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you
Bye.
so much,
Thank
Jaya.
you.
Yeah. Don't
Yeah.
leave right
Bye.
now. We'll just
Okay.
end the
Done,
recording.
done,
it's
done.
Okay.
recording.
Ah.
She
Perfect.
has
Bye bye.
to.
Bye bye.
Uh,
Bye.
Bye.